any questions regarding that assignment, or it's fine?
सर सर्वे कैसे करना है?
सर इसका इंटरनेट पर से इंफॉर्मेशन ले सकते हैं ना?
Yeah. Survey means you do not need to do the survey, that the kind of survey that you see uh, during election process, or that survey that people do in statistics. Survey report means you just need to go through uh, the kind of details that are available on internet and on book. So whatever information is available, or whatever information you can collect regarding particular topic or protocol that you are given, you need to write in your wording. You just need to study that and possibly understand that, and then write in your own wording, in your handwriting. You need to write all the things on an A4 paper, uh, and uh, you also need to put certain your details also, your name, like your name and email ID and roll number, all these details, and each page should have a page number at the bottom, and last you need to sign your report also. Hmm? And then if university is not going to open next in some days, then you can send the scan. Otherwise, keep the hard copy with you, and when you visit the campus you can submit that, but probably before the examination. Okay. दोनों ऑप्शंस रखने हैं आपको, कि जो है हार्ड कॉपी अपने पास सेव करके रखना है, और जब वो यूनिवर्सिटी ओपन होगी, जब कभी भी ओपन होती है आप उसे सबमिट कर रहे हैं। जब कभी से मतलब मेरा एग्जाम से पहले है, फाइनल एग्जाम जो आपका होगा उससे पहले ओपन होती है तो ओके। जो ड्यू डेट है उससे पहले, नहीं तो आप सॉफ्ट कॉपी सेंड कर सकते हैं, उसकी स्कैन कॉपी, सॉफ्ट मीन्स स्कैन कॉपी, एंड बाद में जब आप कैंपस आएंगे तब हार्ड कॉपी सबमिट करते हैं। एनीथिंग एल्स?
सर पहले ईमेल पे आपको सेंड करना होगा ना?
हाँ, यू कैन ईमेल मी, व्हाट्सएप पे नहीं भेजना, डोंट सेंड दैट ऑन व्हाट्सएप।
सर अपना ईमेल भी सर सेंड कर दीजिए।
I will give you my email, or you can go to our website where my email ID is there. Okay, or I will
सर
write my email ID.
हार्ड कॉपी कैसे बनाना है?
हार्ड कॉपी आप अपने पास
हार्ड
सेफ
कॉपी कैसे
रखिएगा,
बनाना है?
सेफ रखिए। हार्ड कॉपी से मतलब ये है A4 पेपर पर अपनी हैंड राइटिंग में लिखना है, और ओके, आप अपनी हैंड
फाइल
राइटिंग में
करके करना है?
स्कैन करके सेंड कर देना है।
फाइल करके
अगर
बनाना है?
यूनिवर्सिटी ओपन नहीं होती है तब, है ना, ये स्कैन का जो ऑप्शन है वो तब है जब ड्यू डेट तक यूनिवर्सिटी ओपन नहीं होती है। अगर ड्यू डेट से पहले यूनिवर्सिटी ओपन हो जाती है, देन आप हार्ड कॉपी सबमिट करेंगे। आई थिंक इट्स क्लियर टू यू। Okay. So due date, I guess I am not remembering exactly. I think 2nd March.
सेकेंड मार्च।
So if university is not going to open, suppose that before 2nd March or on 2nd March, then you can send soft copy and keep hard copy safe with you as well. Okay, you submit that hard copy when university opens. Okay. Okay, now let's start.
सर
If any, please tell.
सर व्हाइट पेज में या फिर रूल पेज में लिख सकते हैं?
Maybe white page will be better. White page will be better.
सर ये कितने मार्क्स का है असाइनमेंट?
I have shared the evaluation plan with you, so you can see
ओके
there. I think it's of
ओके
5 marks. It's of
ओके
5 marks. Exactly अभी मुझे याद नहीं है, but it will be of 5 marks. Okay. वो आप उसमें देख लीजिएगा एवेल्यूशन प्लान में। आई कैन नॉट से ऑथेंटिकली, बिकॉज चीज़ें याद नहीं रहती हैं। डॉक्यूमेंट है और आई हैव शेयर्ड द डॉक्यूमेंट विद यू। आपने हो सकता है बाद में ज्वाइन किया, सो यू मे नॉट बी हैविंग दैट, सो यू कैन आस्क योर कलीग्स। ओके, नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट। So in last class we were talking about domain name system. So let's continue with the discussion. What domain name system is? So it is actually a kind of service uh, uh, that is not directly used by the users, but it is used by other application layer protocols. Remember that this is a service that is implemented as a application layer protocol. Okay, and what is the job of this service is? The job of this service is to translate the host name or the name of the URL a site is having to IP address. Okay. Now question arises, why we require this service to translate URL into IP address? The answer lies in that the machines, that means especially routers and switches that works on internet, that their job is to do routing of the packets. They do not understand the URLs that you use. Okay. IP address, they understand. You know that IP address is of either 32-bit or 128-bit. Okay. So 1 minute, some disturbance is there, I think. Just wait for the okay. So what happens? Those machines actually do not understand URL. They understand only IP address, which is of either 32-bit uh, or 128-bit. You know that machines understand only the machine language. That is a kind of binary language. Okay, and they do not understand the URL that you typed in your browser. So now it is then if you come to humans are compatible with URL kind of things. That means we call them mnemonics actually, but they are not compatible with remembering the binary sequences. Hmm? You already know. For example, suppose that imagine that people are not allowed to use names. Let's say in India, sometime a rules comes that no people will be called by their names. They will be called by their Aadhaar numbers. Now imagine the situation difficulty you will face. आपके क्लासमेट्स में जो भी क्लासमेट्स हैं, you will not call them by their names, you will call them by their Aadhaar numbers. Imagine. So Aadhaar number is a 12-digit identity. So it may be the case that you will be able to remember Aadhaar number of some of the people, but not all, not of all. So it will be very difficult then to deal with the persons and remembering their Aadhaar numbers. Because human minds is not made to understand or remember numbers very well. Our mind is very compatible with uh, the words actually. Okay, because our memory is associative memory. That's the reason. So we do not want to go into that detail. That is the things related to human mind. So that's why it is necessary that there should be a way, there we should draw a way where machines will be able to work with IP addresses, or should be allowed to work with IP address, but humans should be allowed to work with uh, mnemonics actually. Okay, so that's why this service was designed. So what this service does, whenever user want to access a kind of a web server, let's say, then humans will just give the name of those servers to the web browser, and then system will automatically will translate that name into corresponding IP address. So what is that system? That is domain name system. So it is a service that does this. So it is very important service actually. That is not directly used by users. That is, the users use this service actually indirectly, and it's a very important service that is important for running internet. We will discuss that in detail, and once discussion will over, then you will realize what important this service is. If this service will not work, then internet will go down. Okay, now let's talk about then how DNS is implemented. Okay, so DNS is actually implemented in form of a distributed database. Now, what is distributed database? So distributed data means that the data of the data related to the DNS service is divided in or provided at different servers that are distributed in different geographical regions. Okay. Now, why we require database here? Obviously, you know that you want to have a translation service that can translate URL. So suppose you are having a set of URLs and corresponding IP address. I'm just giving you simplest example. So what you want to have, let's say URL is google.com. And there is some IP address for this. I'm not writing any kind of IP address. Then you will have yahoo.com. Then you will have another IP address dedicated to yahoo.com and so on. So this kind of information need to be maintained. So obviously, if you want to store this information, you require a database. I have just given two parameters. Actually, these are not only the two parameters, or this not only this information is maintained, some other information is also maintained. We will see that. So now imagine that how many possible URLs are there, or how many web services or web server may be running on different servers on the website or on the internet actually. So you see that internet have maybe millions of websites or millions of web servers running from small servers to large servers. Okay. Now each of these, or you can say that the millions or billions of machines are there that are connected to internet, and each machine when it's connected to the internet, it requires an IP address. And obviously, if you want to contact that machine should have some mnemonic kind of thing. So generally, we contact servers actually. So each server will have some URL or some name, and you need to keep this mapping that this URL have this IP address, this URL have this IP address, and so on. So obviously, you will need a database. Okay. Now, you have two options to implement this database. You can go for a centralized one. So you have two, if you want to implement the database to store this information, you can go for a centralized one. Centralized database, that means you just deploy a machine on the internet, or you keep all the you keep all that information regarding this mapping into a single database. There is another option that you have is distributed database. Now, question arises why DNS has not been implemented as in form of a centralized database. So the reason behind is that since this database will be very large in size, first thing. Okay, so it is not a good idea to implement a large database on a single server. Why this? Why so? Because you know that whenever you want to access any website, you will always contact to resolve that URL into IP address. You need to contact that centralized database. Okay. So now, if you have a only database with a single database, and now you can imagine that every machine, when you assume that you are a single internet user and you uses internet 2 to 3 hours daily. Now you can think of how many, can you imagine how many DNS requests you may be sending? आप दिन भर में कई सारी वेबसाइट्स विजिट करते हैं, you may be visiting many websites and many web pages, so you are always sending many requests for DNS resolution. Okay, so for example, suppose you open a university website, then you are actually sending a DNS request. If you use your Gmail, you open Gmail, then you send a DNS request. If you go to some news portal, you send a DNS request, and so on. So many times you are working on your machine and you are accessing internet, you send many DNS requests. Okay, now imagine you are not alone internet user. Internet have billions, I guess billions of internet users. Okay, so every time a large number of requests are coming to your centralized database. Now imagine that if that centralized database goes down, once this centralized database goes down, no DNS service will be available, so no translation will happen. That means no URL will be translated into IP address, and you know that without IP address you cannot reach to that machine. So all the machines, or that means all the servers on the internet will become unreachable because you do not know the IP address of those machines. Okay, so if this centralized database goes down, then everything will go down. So that means it will create a single point of failure. So if this database goes down, internet will go down, and it may happen very frequently because there is only a single server. So once this server goes down, everything will go down, and you will see that a lot of time internet is shut down. That is not a good thing. And one more thing, since this database is suppose a centralized one, so suppose that this is your internet, and you have maybe your DNS server is, if you have deployed single DNS server that is there. Now this DNS server, since this is a single server, so it may be near to some machines, but it may be very far for more than many machines. So it will not be near to all the machines. एक ही server है, so ये सारी machines के close नहीं हो सकता. So some machines will have less DNS resolution time. कुछ machines को कम time लगेगा translation करवाने में. Some machines will have very high time for getting this kind of translation service. So this is another drawback. एक ही server है, so that cannot be closed to everyone. Second, that is issue. Then third, since every request will come to this machine, so this machine will be connected to the internet by some link, and this link, all the traffic coming from throughout the world will go to this link. So obviously this link will become bottleneck, will behave as a bottleneck link, and it will also create problem. ये link भी fail हो गई, then your whole internet will go down. So because of all these issues, we do not prefer centralized database and we go for a distributed database. Okay, I think you are clear now why centralized database is not a good approach. Why we have implemented distributed DNS in form of distributed database. Now one more thing, since DNS requires frequent updates, so update करना है तो आपको बार बार DNS में चेंज करना पड़ेगा. You have to do changes on all the servers. So updation की वजह से updation के बाद आपको refresh करना पड़ेगा. So all these things will become problematic for us. और maintenance भी आप नहीं कर पाएंगे machine का, because you have only one server. जब maintenance कर रहे हैं तो server will go down. So maintenance will also be difficult. So these are some of the important issues that can arise with centralized database approach. So that's why distributed database approach was followed. So distributed database के केस में क्या होगा? You have multiple multiple DNS servers. They are jointly behaving as a single entity. They are collaborating to implement all those services. So that means you have now आप जो है multiple DNS services implement कर सकते हैं. And then now advantage क्या होगा? Every customer will have a DNS server that is close to him or her, है ना? तो ये प्रॉब्लम रिजॉल्व हो जाएगी. सेंट्रलाइज्ड अप्रोच नहीं है, सो देयर विल बी नो सिंगल पॉइंट ऑफ फेलियर. 1 or 2 DNS सर्वर गोज डाउन, इंटरनेट सर्विस विल नॉट स्टॉप. डेटाबेस भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, सो समहाउ अगर कोई डिजास्टर होता है, इफ समथिंग हैपेंस, यू विल नॉट लॉस्ट योर डेटा. Okay, because and data can be replicated at multiple sites, so redundancy will be there, and system will become robust, and we need a robust service actually for DNS. So that's why we implemented distributed database. Okay, so because of that it becomes scalable. Now let's talk about what are the services that are offered by DNS. So one service we have already talked about, host name to IP address translation. Okay, this is one service. Then there are some other services. We will talk about those services also later. The next service, that is called host aliasing. So host aliasing means if you are having a suppose machine that is running some server, so machine have many times complicated names. Every machine have a name. So that name is generally called canonical name. So host name may not be easy, or may not be easy to remember. It may be a complicated one. So because of host DNS or using the host aliasing service of DNS, you can give simple name to those machines. and use those simple names. Then mail server aliasing. So your mail server may be having a complicated name, so you can give a easy name to your mail server, or actually you can make you can also refer the mail server by the name of the web server as well. So दोनों को आप सेम नाम से रेफर कर पाएंगे because of mail server aliasing. Then there is another important service, that is load distribution. So suppose that you have implemented a server on internet and your server uh, is having multiple replicated server actually. Okay, or you have one origin server and multiple web servers, web cache servers. So you can distribute the services or the requests that are coming to your server. So आप जो ना, because of with the help of DNS service you can divide the load. So you can redirect actually the requests that are coming from your client. Okay, so for example, suppose that one request comes, you can say you can redirect that service to, let's say, web server 1. That is your let's say your web server is implemented on n machines, so you have web server 1, web server 2, and so on, and all those n machines behaving as a single server. Okay, so now suppose that first request comes, you can redirect this request with the help of load distribution of DNS to let's say server 1. Then second request come, you can redirect it to server 2, and so on. So इससे क्या होगा, you can distribute the loads among all the servers that you are having. So एक ही server पर load नहीं आएगा इससे. This is the advantage, and you can do it with the help of DNS. We will see that. Okay, so we have already seen that what are the drawback of centralized DNS. Okay, any question till this point? Yeah. No. Okay, then let's continue. Okay, so now let's talk about the structure or the organization of your DNS server actually. So as I told you that DNS is the service that is implemented in form of a distributed database. So your DNS server actually have a hierarchy of server. Okay, so your DNS service having multiple servers. First thing you should remember that it is a kind of distributed server, so there is no single server. There are multiple servers. Now these servers can be organized in a variety of ways. So the developers of internet have chosen that those servers will be interconnected in a hierarchical manner actually, a kind of tree form. So the organization that they have followed is like that. So at the top of the hierarchy you have some DNS servers, we call them root DNS server. Okay, so we have at the top root DNS server. So whenever you make a request, that request comes to the root DNS server. There are 13 DNS servers, 13 root DNS servers. Okay, and it is important to understand that you should understand that these root DNS servers are not implemented as single server. So 13 server का मतलब ये नहीं कि they are 13 large servers only. These 13 servers are actually implemented in form of a cluster of servers. So 13 servers, so that means each server out of these 13 is a kind of cluster of servers. So हो सकता है कि आपका जो एक server है, it is implemented in form of a again set of servers, and they are interconnected with each other in some way. And this is, let's say, root server 1. I'm just making you clear that these 13 root server are not only 13 actually. अगर आप reality में देखें, so each server is implemented in form of a cluster of servers. So cluster का मतलब होता है there are multiple servers that are behaving as a single server. Okay, so these are the 13 root servers. Then each of the website that you create are divided actually according to the kind of motives they have been created. For example, there are certain commercial organizations websites, there are websites that are related to educational institutes and so on. So in order to divide the jobs to different servers, we have also and you are separate the websites or classify the websites, we have different servers also. These are called top level domain servers. Okay, top level domain servers. So these are the TLD servers, we call them, top level domain servers. So top level domain servers actually represent a class. So for example, you have .com sites, the sites that with .com extension, you can say. So there is we have DNS servers, or again they are may be implemented in a form of clusters. Okay, such kind of this. So we have a set of servers. We usually represent that as a single server, but again this is not a single server, and it handles or it resolves the name of all the sites that are of .com nature. So whenever, let's say, you send a request for google.com, root server will redirect this request to this com server. And again, suppose that there is another URL that is org, edu, then you have many these classes of these kind of servers, top level DLD servers. You have org for generally non-profit or government organizations, then edu, .net networking sites, .mil for military sites, and .gov for government organizations, and so on. And then for you have country level domains also, .jp for Japan, .in for India, .us, and so on. Right? So these are some classes of URLs that you might seen on the internet, and each of these classes will have a top level domain server that is responsible to resolve these URLs. Okay, so it is important to understand that whenever a request will come that to resolve the name of a site or host that have .com, then the request will be redirected by DNS server to this TLD server. If suppose a request comes to resolve this kind of URL, the root server will redirect that request or will send that request, forward that request to this TLD server, and so on. Okay, and then at the third level at hierarchy, you will have the actual DNS server that knows the mapping of domain name to IP address, and these servers are called authoritative domain servers. ठीक है, authoritative domain servers. So these are the servers actually that actually knows the mapping. And authoritative domain server के पास request को कौन redirect करता है? These com servers. So for example, so you are sending a request to resolve google.com. So the request will go to the root DNS server, then it will come here, and this com server is knowing who is the authoritative server to resolve this name. So it will forward that request to let's say here Google का जो भी DNS server होगा उसके पास request भेज देगा, and then Google का DNS server will reply with the response. ठीक है, will send the response. That means it will send the corresponding IP address. Okay, so this is how these three root DNS servers work. Then there is another kind of server that is called a local server. We will talk about that also. Local DNS, that is not strictly part of actually this hierarchy. So in hierarchy में तीन ही टाइप के सर्वर्स हैं, ध्यान रखना है. Now ये जो सर्वर्स हैं generally they may not be a single server, they may be a cluster of servers as well. Okay. Now this is actually a map of different root servers that are available. You will see that ये जो root servers है, these are 13 और उनको नाम दिए गए हैं A से लेकर के M तक. So for example A, this is the root server. ये जो है आपका यहाँ located है. So you will see that majority of the actually root servers जो 13 है उनमें से root server ज्यादातर नॉर्थ अमेरिका में है. That means US, कनाडा में है. कुछ यूरोप में भी है. You can see these locations that have been pointed out. एशिया में एक I guess जापान में है ना, टोक्यो में. टोक्यो और एक कोरिया में भी है उसकी कॉपी. But majority of the servers are in available in the United States and Canada. So you can see these are locations of these 13 root servers. India doesn't have any root server. You should know that. Now we have also talked about the top level domain server. Authoritative के बारे में भी हम बात कर चुके हैं. Now let's talk about local DNS server. So local DNS server, it is not part of the strictly the hierarchy of DNS server, and but it has a very important role, and in resolving the DNS server. I think we should discuss an example where the role of this local DNS server will be clear to you. Now suppose that there is one example here. Suppose that there is a host cis.poly.edu. This is the host. I'm just taking the example that is given by book, and you can take another example. Let's say it may be google.com also, but since diagram is written according to this URL, so we will focus on this. So suppose that this is the machine जिसका ये URL है. It want IP address for this server gaia.cs.umass.edu. You know that here extension क्या है आखिर इसमें edu. So obviously what will happen first? So suppose this is the machine. So this is the machine that is requesting the URL to resolve this URL. So this is the URL that you want to resolve. Okay. So resolve करने का मतलब ये जो machine है इस URL के corresponding IP address चाहती है. So this want IP address of this. It wants IP address. क्योंकि तभी IP address होगा तभी नेटवर्क लेयर इस मशीन को पैकेट भेज पाएगी, अदरवाइज नहीं. सो ये जो मशीन है दिस विल बी इन सम पार्ट सम नेटवर्क या किसी ISP से कनेक्शन लिया होगा. सो मेनी टाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस, ये जो नेटवर्क है इट मे बी अ यूनिवर्सिटी नेटवर्क. सो फॉर एग्जांपल सपोज ये यूनिवर्सिटी नेटवर्क है poly.edu. सो दे मे हैव डिप्लॉयड ए DNS सर्वर इटसेल्फ. यहाँ पे अपना DNS सर्वर एम्प्लॉय किया होगा, या ये जो DNS सर्वर है इनके ISP का नेटवर्क होगा. फॉर एग्जांपल सपोज दिस इज अवर मशीन फ्रॉम अवर यूनिवर्सिटी. सपोज दैट दिस इज मशीन फ्रॉम अवर यूनिवर्सिटी and our university have its own network. So what our university can do, they can deploy their own DNS locally, or they can request let's say BSNL से कनेक्शन लिया, they can request BSNL to maintain their DNS server, और NIC से कहेंगे कि आप अपना हमारा DNS server maintain करिए. So that DNS server will be called local DNS server. Obviously, so first your request will go to your DNS server. आपने जहां डिप्लॉय किया है, so हो सकता है वो आपके खुद के नेटवर्क में डिप्लॉयड हो या आपके ISP के यहाँ डिप्लॉयड हो, दोनों जगह में से कहीं हो सकता है. Okay, so first whenever you send a request, so your machine will be automatically send the request to local DNS server. Why it will send the request to local DNS? Because that when you configure a machine in a network, once a network setting, for example when you will come to university lab, you will see that each of the machine has been given a IP addresses. लोकल एक नेटवर्क में करते समय आपको एक IP एड्रेस मशीन का असाइन किया गया है. ईच मशीन हैज बीन गिवन IP एड्रेस, देन प्रॉक्सी का IP एड्रेस दिया गया है, एंड एक लोकल DNS सर्वर्स के आपको 2 IP दिए गए होंगे. एक लोकल DNS, एक अल्टरनेट DNS भी होता है. So that IP is of DNS server, local DNS. Okay, so since your machine has been given IP address of local DNS server, so your machine, whenever you send a URL to your browser will call the function of your DNS that is running on your machine in form of a process. या ये कहिए आपने if you have used Unix और ये studied Unix, then आपने उसमें देखा होगा get host by name function को कॉल करके आप DNS mapping पता कर सकते हैं, और you can send a request to local DNS server. Okay, so when you will send you will type the URL, let's say this URL in your web browser. So your web browser will call the DNS. Okay, will call DNS, and it will hand over this URL to DNS. So DNS प्रोसेस को ध्यान रखना, DNS क्लाइंट दैट इज रनिंग ऑन योर मशीन, ठीक है, बैकग्राउंड में रन कर रहा होता है हमेशा. तो नाउ आपने जैसे URL दिया उस DNS क्लाइंट प्रोसेस को, इट विल सेंड द रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑब्वियसली लोकल DNS सर्वर को. सो लोकल DNS सर्वर के पास आ गया. data. So suppose this is your local DNS server, this is okay. Now it may be the possible कि आपसे पहले या इससे पहले आपने इसी URL को रिजॉल्व कराया है, तो that information will be available with local DNS server because it also behave as a cache server. ओके सो जितने भी यहाँ से रिस्पॉन्स आते हैं उनको कॉपी करके रखता है प्रीवियस रिस्पॉन्सेस को. सो इससे पहले अगर आपने साइट को एक्सेस किया होगा तो वो मैपिंग यहाँ होगी. बट सपोज यू हैव नॉट डन दिस बिफोर, you are just accessing this website first time from your machine, so obviously or nobody have done so also. So this local DNS server doesn't know the IP address of this URL. Okay, so what it will do now, it will automatically forward this request to root DNS server. Then ये कहेगा I do not know the IP address of this machine, so this local server will tell to the root DNS server. So you can see that number 2. So this request is being forwarded to this root server because local DNS server does not know the IP address corresponding to this URL. So it is actually saying root to root server that I do not know IP address of this machine. Can you give me that? So the request goes to the root DNS server. Now root DNS server will tell may tell or will tell that you can contact this machine. Okay, so what it will do actually, it will give this local DNS an IP address. किसका IP देगा? TLD के सर्वर का. कौन से TLD सर्वर? .edu सर्वर. So it will tell that जो edu का जो सर्वर है TLD सर्वर, उसका IP ये इसको रिटर्न कर देगा और कहेगा कि प्लीज कॉन्टेक्ट दिस मशीन. So now this local DNS server, so which is the TLD server? Suppose that this is the TLD server for .edu. So this root server have given IP address of this server in this response actually 3 mein. So now this local server will contact this edu server. Okay. Now this edu server knows who is the authoritative server for this DNS or this URL. Authoritative DNS server means the DNS server that actually knows this mapping. ये URL के corresponding IP address कौन क्या है. So TLD server knows the IP address of authoritative server of this domain name. So let's say this is the authoritative server of this domain name. That is here you can see that this is the authoritative DNS server for this domain. So this TLD server knows the IP address of this. So in this response number 5, it gives the IP of this machine to this local server. And now since this local server have IP address of authoritative server, so it will ask this authoritative server in the so you can see that this request 6. So yes, 6 request in this request it is asking that please give me the IP address of this URL. So since this authoritative server knows the IP address of this machine, so it will just go into its record and then gives IP address using this response number 7 you can see. So now local DNS server will get the IP address of corresponding to this URL, and then now local server will return the response to your machine, and finally your machine will get IP of this machine, and now your machine can communicate with this machine. This machine, ये authoritative server है, authoritative server में इस machine का. So this is the server and इस server से contact करना. So now your machine can contact directly with this machine because now IP address is available. Okay, and one more thing, once your local DNS server receives this mapping इस URL के corresponding what is the IP address, it will save this mapping in its local memory, that means in its cache. So it behave as a wave cache also. So what is the advantage of saving this mapping in your local DNS server? Now imagine करिए you are in a network, university network में. Now आपने इस यूनिवर्सिटी को एक्सेस किया, then suppose one of your friend or any other student send again a DNS request to resolve this name. Now again उसकी machine से request again will go. So another machine is there. Suppose your friend is working on this machine, it will send a DNS request. Again, this request will reach to this local DNS server. And now this local DNS server have the record in its cache memory. This record is available in cache memory, so it will return immediately that response to this machine. Now again, since this local server behaves as a cache memory, so it just cache that information for a particular amount of time only particular duration only. ठीक है, आप जानते हैं कैश मैनेजमेंट इज अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ इशू, और देयर विल बी अ कैश मैनेजमेंट प्रोटोकॉल रनिंग ऑन दिस मशीन दैट विल टेक केयर ऑफ कि कब किसी एंट्री को एक्सपायर होने पर, उसके टाइम टू लिव एक्सपायर होने पर हटा देना है. ओके, सो नाउ सिंस यू आर जस्ट कैशिंग दीज मैपिंग्स एंड सो नाउ जब क्या होगा, सपोज दैट मेनी टाइम्स पीपल यूज google.com. सो आपने गूगल यूज किया फर्स्ट टाइम आपके नेटवर्क से, so this local DNS server have kept this mapping. Now again, another friend or your another student from university access Google. Now all the requests that are coming after your request will not go beyond this machine, because local DNS server have this cap mapping, so it will respond immediately. So आपका response time भी कम हो जाएगा, your DNS resolution will become very fast, and also the burden on internet and also all the DNS server will also come down. So that's why local DNS server is very important, and almost all organizations implement a local DNS server. So इससे उनका भी फायदा होता है, उनके सिस्टम में भी लोड कम होता है, और नेटवर्क में रिक्वेस्ट बहुत कम बाहर जाती हैं, एंड DNS रेजोल्यूशन क्विक हो जाता है. So this is the importance of local DNS server. Okay, now the query that we have seen here. So actually in DNS you can there are two kind of queries that can be made. Okay, one is called iterated query and second is called recursive query. Okay, so let me give you an example what is the difference between iterative query and recursive query. I think there is another example also for recursive query, but let me give you a simple example in your understanding. Suppose that you go to a village. Okay, you go to a village. Let's say you are as a tourist, you go to a particular village, and you are going there first time. And suppose that that village is having a very famous temple, but you do not know how to reach that temple. So what you will do? Once you enter the village, initially at the first point, you may encounter some person. Okay, and then you decided that I should ask the address to reach that village, or the way to reach the village from that person. Now what may happen that person may give you directly the address. Okay, so that person may be as a kind of local server. So you just ask them, how can I reach to that address or that temple? If he know, he will reply you directly. But suppose that he was also tourist and he doesn't know, but he have visited village just before you, so he know some person, or he just say that, okay, I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know how to reach that temple. You can ask that person sitting under tree. He will tell you. Okay, so you go to that person. Then again, that person sitting behind a tree doesn't know. He tell, please ask that panwala. He will tell you, and then that panwala give you that response. Okay. So now this is one way, asking of one way. Let me draw this in form of a diagram. So suppose that this is you. Okay, and this is the tourist person that you met. My drawing is poor, so please bear with me. So you just ask this person that please tell me to that address, but this person doesn't know. It tells that ask the person that is sitting there behind the tree, under the tree, sorry. So this is the person that was sitting there. So actually it just send you to this person. Okay, and then it just give you that information about this panwala, and this panwala gives you the response. So how your request is traveling? Your request goes here, and then goes here, and then goes here. Okay. So here, let me modify this example bit further. So suppose that you just ask this person ask this person on behalf of you. आप नहीं पूछ रहे हैं. Assume that you just ask this person, but this person doesn't know. This person asked this person. Now this person also doesn't know. So this person asked this person, and this person knows the address. So this person returns the address to this person. Then this person returns this address to this person, and then this person returns address to this person. Okay. Now this way is called recursive way. Recursive way. Okay. So your request is going into deep first, पहले person, then second person, third person, and then उसी क्रम में वापस आ रही है. So this way is called recursive way or recursive query. This query is called recursive query. Now what is another way? Iterative query. So iterative query में क्या होता है? In case of iterative query, जो first one जो example था वो था जैसे this person, this is you. Sorry, let me redraw it. This is you. Then you ask this person. ठीक है? You just request this person, and this person, what this person does says कि ये जो ट्री के नीचे बैठा पर्सन है आप इसके पास चले जाइए. ठीक है? So this person is giving actually address or some reference, or say it is just saying कि this person knows you, so it is sending you actually or your request to this person, and you are now directly requesting this person. तो पहले आपने इस को रिक्वेस्ट किया, इसने क्या किया, इस पर्सन का एड्रेस आपको दे दिया रिस्पॉन्स में. ठीक है? सो फर्स्ट दिस इज वन योर रिक्वेस्ट, then it gives you the response number 2. So in this response, this person is telling you that ask this person. Okay, so let's say, let me name this person. You are R, this person is A, this person is B. So what is saying, this person is saying, A is saying that you can contact B. So you contact now B in request number 3. B says that I don't know, but you can request this pan wala person P. Okay, so it gives you the ID of this person P, so you, or address of this person P, so you reach now this person P. Okay, let's say this was 4 and this request is 5, and then this gives you the response finally in number 6. This person knows the address and it gives you the address. So this is how you get the address. So this way of requesting is called iterative query method. So did you notice the response difference here? In it recursive way, you are not directly getting the IDs of the person. You are just getting, you just float your query and get the response. आपने अपनी जो रिक्वेस्ट थी इस पर्सन को भेजी, इसने रिक्वेस्ट को आगे इस पर्सन के पास भेज दिया. ठीक है? एंड इस पर्सन ने रिक्वेस्ट इसे यहाँ भेज दी. देन दिस पर्सन गेट्स द रिस्पॉन्स फ्रॉम दिस पर्सन, देन this person give the response to this person, and this person forward the response to you. So this is the way, is called recursive way. ठीक है? एंड यहां पर क्या हो रहा है, you are being redirected. आप कह रहे हैं उस आदमी के पास चले जाइए, फिर कहिए go to this person, वो अगला कह रहा है कि आप इस पर्सन के पास चले जाइए, वो अगला कह रहा है इस पर्सन के पास चले जाइए, and so on this way, and then finally you will reach to a person that will give you the answer. Another approach recursive में क्या हो रहा है, you are not going person to person. You just go to your contact person, and then contact person will contact some other set of persons, and then it will ultimately give you the response. So in this case, you are just only contacting directly with this person. You are interfacing this person, and now this person is taking the responsibility of resolving your problem. But here, this person is not taking the रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ रिजॉल्विंग पर्सन. ये किसी और को पास आपको भेज दे रहा है, फिर आप करें आप ये वाला किसी और को आपको भेज दे रहा है. अल्टीमेटली यू विल रीच टू द पर्सन दैट विल सॉल्व योर प्रॉब्लम. So this is way is called iterative way. Okay, so now you can recognize where the way is iterative and where is recursive. आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे you just send a request as a host to local server, and local server आपसे ये नहीं कह रहा है कि आप इसको जाके कांटेक्ट करिए. लोकल सर्वर इज सेंडिंग योर रिक्वेस्ट टू रूट सर्वर. रूट सर्वर ने नाउ इसने रूट सर्वर ने पूछ इट्स आस्क फ्रॉम रूट सर्वर दैट कैन यू गिव मी द इंफॉर्मेशन और कैन यू टेल मी दिस आईपी. सो रूट सर्वर डजंट नो, सो इट फॉरवर्ड्स दैट प्लीज कांटेक्ट दिस पर्सन. सो नाउ यहाँ आप देख सकते हैं दिस इज अ वे ऑफ काइंड ऑफ इटरेटिव वे. ओके, दिस इज काइंड ऑफ इटरेटिव. इसने इसका एड्रेस दे दिया. नाउ दिस पर्सन गिव्स local server address of this person, so now you reach this pattern. So this is the iterative way of the query. Now let's see this query again in form of recursive way. You give the request to local DNS server. Local DNS server reaches root server, root server reaches TLD server, then TLD server request authoritative server, and the authoritative server gives back the response to TLD server. So response यहाँ आ गया वापस, and then TLD server return कर देता है response root server को, because root server have requested this response actually, and then root server will hand over the response that it have received to local DNS server, and local DNS server have given back the response to your machine. That means you. So this is a recursive way of the query. So in recursive way, you puts the burden of name resolution on contacted name server. जो भी सर्वर पर आप कांटेक्ट कर रहे हैं आप उसी को वो आंसर डाल देते हैं. Okay, so in that case, load becomes heavy. You can count the number of messages that had been exchanged. Iterative में थोड़ा लोड कम होता है, and iterative में कैशिंग भी की वजह से you can shortcut the response. Okay, so there are the two ways that DNS uses. Either the query may be iterative and query may be recursive, or many times the query may be combination of both of these methods. And most of the time query is actually combination of both of these methods, iterative plus recursive. Now as I told you that DNS caching, caching is very useful in case of DNS, because if you do not employ caching, you can see that एक resolve करने के लिए कितने messages exchange हो सकते हैं. So suppose that is caching is there, local DNS server have the caching, it will respond immediately, and it will reduce or cut the number of requests that is going to DNS servers. Similarly, agar cache TLD servers also make caches about mappings, response can also be cut. So if these servers actually you employ caching mechanism, then the number of requests that may be required to resolve a query can be reduced. Okay, so caching plays a very big role here, and it makes your DNS scalable and manageable. Okay, क्योंकि आप imagine नहीं कर सकते, billions of nodes are attached with internet, and they send many requests. So within a small fraction of time, your DNS servers may be getting millions or billions of requests to resolve DNS query, DNS names. Okay, DNS service कई सारी requests आएंगे. So DNS need to handle all those requests. So if DNS does not employ caching, then DNS server still become, after you have DNS server as a distributed set of servers, it will also may not able to serve the all the requests, and internet पर बहुत ज़्यादा traffic DNS का ही हो जाएगा. So wave caching helps in a big way to reduce the amount of traffic that is an account that arises because of DNS requests. Now a question arises होता है, now let's see how DNS information is maintained at the servers. So this is the format of the record that is maintained at a DNS server. सो किसी भी डीएनएस सर्वर पर इस तरीके से फॉर्मेट मेंटेन होती है. सो रिकॉर्ड हैव 4 फील्ड्स एक्चुअली. दिस इज द नेम, this is the value, this is the type, and this is TTL. So TTL fields mean time to live. So what is the validity of this record? This field will indicate. So it will be a time stamp actually that will indicate कि इस field की ये जो record है इसकी validity कब तक है. Then these are the two parameters. Important values are there. These two parameters. So ये जो type है, type value will determine what is the meaning of both of these things actually. Okay, so actually type value type field can have 4 values, and these 4 values will decide what kind of information this record carries. Okay, so if type is equal to a, suppose that type की value चार value हो सकती है, a, ns, cname and mx. Okay, so if type is equal to a, then interpretation of this field is that this becomes host name. That means name, this field will represent host name, and this field will represent IP address. Okay, so host name और IP address. Host name means ध्यान रखना है मशीन का नाम, तो machine name and IP address. ठीक है. So if record A is there, then this mapping will be there. If type equal to ns, then it is called name server actually. So if type की value ns है, then it represents name. It is actually domain name. So name will represent the domain name, like example cub.ac.in, yahoo.com, google.com, something like that. And value will be host name. ध्यान रखना ns record में IP address नहीं होता है. IP address केवल A record में मिलता है आपको. So ns record will contain the name of the machine actually. So for example, suppose that ns record may be of like that google.com. Then google.com का जो मशीन जो सर्वर है पर्टिकुलर, हो सकता है उसका नाम हो वेस्ट कोस्ट डॉट यूएस डॉट सर्वर 1 डॉट google.com. इस तरीके के sometime many times this name is a kind of lengthy name. So this name this kind of name will be there. So this is actually the name of the machine. It may be a host name or it may be a canonical name actually. Okay, like this. And then value will be this value, this host name. ठीक है. So generally ये authoritative name server होता है, जो कि इस नेम को रिजॉल्व कर सकता है. उसका नाम होगा होस्ट नेम ऑफ द अथॉरिटेटिव नेम सर्वर, कि हु नोज द मैपिंग ऑफ दिस मशीन, व्हिच इज द सर्वर दैट नोज दिस मैपिंग. ओके, देन cname, this record contains the canonical name of the machine, for example. So name is the alias name for some canonical name. So here you will see machine's canonical name, that means the name of the machine, and the value will be name is the alias name, ठीक है, real name of the machine, and value will be the canonical name. So machine name will be there, and here will be the canonical name. So machine name like इस type का name होगा. So actually many times machine have multiple names. So some machine name sometimes may be easy, but canonical name may be difficult. So for example, suppose that this record may contain www.ibm.com, ठीक है, और उसका जो कैनोनिकल नेम है हो सकता है ये नेम हो पूरा इतना लंबा. ओके, या समटाइम्स जरूरी नहीं है यहाँ ये यूआरएल नेम हो, कुछ नाम हो ibm.com हो सिंपली, या सर्वर 1.ibm.com ये नेम हुआ यहाँ पर, सपोज दैट, एंड यहाँ पर ये पूरा लंबा नाम होगा पूरा. तो वो जो मशीन का actual canonical name होगा. Many times क्या होता है, canonical names are complex, so you just give a simple name to the machine, that is called the name of the machine. Canonical real name होता है, and जो name होगा यहाँ पे ये alias होगा canonical का, alternate name, simple name आप रख देते हैं. Okay, then type is equal to mx. So mx अगर है तो ये name आपका it can be a name of the machine, एंड करस्पॉन्डिंग ये जो वैल्यू है ये मेल सर्वर का नाम होगा. हु इज द मेल सर्वर ऑफ दैट. सो फॉर एग्जांपल सपोज दैट ये हो सकता है cub.ac.in और करस्पॉन्डिंग मेल सर्वर हो सकता है let's say mail server 1.cusb.gaya.ac.in, some kind of thing. So canonical name are many times जो machines के जो name होते हैं, that may be complex name like that. So वो यहाँ पे that name will be a simple name. So these are the 4 type of records that are stored on the machines. खास करके authoritative जो servers हैं उस पर authoritative जो server होगा that will contain these records. Okay. This is actually a message. I'm not going format of the DNS protocol, packet format. So you just go through that. बहुत ज़्यादा इसमें कुछ technical नहीं है. I'm just going to skip that. Okay. Now let's talk about how the DNS record comes into the DNS server. There should be a way. Okay, there should be a way. So actually, what happens actually? There is an agency. You know that that initially उसका नाम IANA था. Now it is a ICANN. ये जो अथॉरिटी है, ये जो एजेंसी है, it is a kind of non-profit organization that maintains the registry service of the internet actually, and it controls who will be it actually controls the allocation of IP addresses, and also it controls the entry of DNS information actually. So initially शुरू में पहले एक network solution was a company that works as a registrar, but nowadays a number of registrars has been appointed by this agency. So actually ICANN is an agency that appoints registrars. Multiple registrars are there, like Big Rock है ना, आपने नाम सुना होगा. So these are the agencies that have been appointed by ICANN. So registrar is actually a company or agency that is appointed by ICANN. ICANN gives them license actually. So these registrars actually makes entry in DNS servers actually. Okay. इंपॉर्टेंट अंडरस्टैंड, आपको याद रखना ICANN नहीं में एंट्री मेंटेन करता है, ये आईपी एड्रेस के एलोकेशन को गवर्न करता है. आप इफ सपोज यू आर एन ISP, so you want to purchase IP addresses so that you can sell those IP addresses to other parties. So you have to contact ICANN for that. You have to pay certain license fee or something like that, and do some paperwork and procedural you need to follow, and then ICANN will allocate a set of IP addresses to you, and you can sell those IP addresses to your clients or customers. Like BSNL और इन सबको IP addresses ICANN से मिलते हैं. They have to reach to ICANN. Similarly, if you want to become a registrar, then you also need to go to ICANN. So generally जो domain name जो companies बेचती हैं, they behave as a registrar. So what they do, so suppose you just get a domain name abc.com. तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, ये abc.com domain name किसी रजिस्ट्रार से लेना पड़ेगा that have license to sell commercial domain name or any other kind of domain name. So जो भी domain name है आप you will purchase a domain name, and हो सकता है कि अब आप domain name purchase करेंगे then you will also require IP address. So हो सकता है generally वही रजिस्ट्रार से आप IP address भी ले सकते हैं, और you can go to BSNL or some other agency that will give you IP address. So अब आप सर्वर बना लेंगे, उसको domain name पर कन्फिगर कर देंगे, IP address असाइन कर देंगे, and now once you have established a server, then you need to create a DNS record that server. So उसके लिए आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, अपने लिए एक अथॉरिटेटिव सर्वर बनाना पड़ेगा पहले, कि आपकी वेबसाइट को के URL को अगर रिजॉल्व करना है तो व्हाट विल बी द अथॉरिटेटिव सर्वर. सो अगेन अथॉरिटेटिव सर्वर मींस अथॉरिटेटिव DNS सर्वर यू हैव टू डिप्लॉय. सो हो सकता है वो अथॉरिटेटिव DNS सर्वर आप अपने यहाँ मेंटेन कर लीजिए अपने नेटवर्क में अगर आपके पास नेटवर्क है, और यू कैन बाय द सर्विस फ्रॉम सम कंपनी लाइक NIC ये सर्विस देती है, BSNL ये सर्विस देती है. यू कैन गो देयर एंड दे विल मेंटेन योर DNS सर्वर. ओके, सो उनके सर्वर का जो भी IP होगा वो आप ले लेंगे एंड आप DNS रजिस्ट्रार को दे देंगे. सो रजिस्ट्रार फॉर एग्जांपल इन दिस केस example, suppose that you have created a startup network utopia. Suppose that I'm just taking example. आपने ये एक कंपनी शुरू की है, ओके, एंड आप नाम चाहते हैं कंपनी का networkutopia.com. ओके, सो आपने ये URL कहीं से खरीद लिया DNS रजिस्ट्रार से, लेट्स से नेटवर्क सॉल्यूशन से. नाउ अब आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, इस रजिस्ट्रार को यू नीड टू गिव एन IP एड्रेस एंड अथॉरिटेटिव नेम सर्वर. सो अथॉरिटेटिव नेम सर्वर में आप जनरली 2 सर्वर्स बनाते हैं, एक प्राइमरी होता है एक सेकेंडरी होता है. प्राइमरी का मतलब प्राइमरी अगर अवेलेबल नहीं है तो सेकेंडरी को कॉन्टैक्ट किया जा सके. सो जनरली हम 2 सर्वर्स मेंटेन करते हैं. सेकेंडरी को बैकअप सर्वर भी बोल सकते हो, बैकअप डीएनएस सर्वर। सो आपको वो डीएनएस सर्वर्स के नाम देना पड़ेंगे और आईपी एड्रेस देना पड़ेंगे, और अपनी वेबसाइट का आईपी एड्रेस देना पड़ेगा। सो रजिस्ट्रार क्या करेगा, ये रिकॉर्ड एंटर करेगा। आपकी वेबसाइट का नाम क्या है, networkutopia.com, देन ये आपकी मशीन का नाम हो गया, एंड एनएस, टीटीएल इसमें ड्रॉप कर दिया, एनएस रिकॉर्ड है। सो एनएस रिकॉर्ड का मतलब क्या हो गया, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ एनएस रिकॉर्ड, दिस इज योर domain name, okay, and this is your you can say let me tell you what is the this one ns में this value is authoritative name server। so आपका जो authoritative name server है, जो आपने जहां भी बनाया है उसका आपने नाम दे दिया dns1.networkutopia.com, ठीक है, ये आपके डीएनएस सर्वर का कैनोनिकल नेम है, ओके, कैनोनिकल नेम या होस्ट नेम जो भी हो, ओके, कैनोनिकल नेम समटाइम्स होता है, इट कैन बी होस्ट नेम। तो ये आपने नाम दे दिया, एनएस रिकॉर्ड है, सो ये नेम सर्वर रिकॉर्ड है, दिस इज योर अथॉरिटेटिव डीएनएस। नाउ इसके साथ एक आपको और करना पड़ेगा कि ये जो डीएनएस सर्वर है इसका आईपी क्या है, ओके, सो dns1.networkutopia.com एंड दिस इज योर आईपी, सो दिस इज द आईपी ऑफ योर दिस वेबसाइट networkutopia.com, ठीक है। सो ये जो दो रिकॉर्ड्स हैं एटलीस्ट आपको अपने उसमें एंटर कराना पड़ेंगे, एंड दिस रजिस्ट्रार विल एंटर दीज टू रिकॉर्ड्स इनटू टीएलडी सर्वर, जो कॉम साइट का होगा टीएलडी सर्वर उसके पास रख देगा। सो अब कॉम जो साइट होगा ना, जब वो आपको कोई somebody will access your website, so टीएलडी सर्वर के पास रिक्वेस्ट आएगी, एंड टीएलडी सर्वर हैविंग दिस रिकॉर्ड, टीएलडी सर्वर नोज दैट हु इज अथॉरिटेटिव डीएनएस सर्वर, दिस वन, यहाँ से उसने इस कॉम के करस्पॉन्डिंग डीएनएस का एंट्री देखी, डीएनएस में इसके सामने आईपी मिल गया, तो डीएनएस का आईपी दे दिया, एंड आपके जो डीएनएस होगा that will give you the IP address of that machine, okay। now many times what happens, आप अपना मेल सर्वर भी बनाना चाहते हैं, तो मेल सर्वर बना रहे हैं आप, तो उसके लिए आपको mx रिकॉर्ड और एंटर करना पड़ेगा। so mx रिकॉर्ड में क्या होगा कि आपकी मशीन का जो भी नाम है, लेट्स से networkutopia.com होगा, जो डोमेन नेम है। सो अगर आपको mx रिकॉर्ड भी एंटर कराना है, mx रिकॉर्ड वाई वी वांट टू हैव, मेनी टाइम्स आपका मेल सर्वर जो है, मेल सर्वर का नाम ऐसे हो सकता है, लेट्स से mail.networkutopia.com, networkutopia या मेल सर्वर, कुछ इस तरीके का वर्ड आपने नाम रखा हुआ है, ओके। नाउ यू डू नॉट want to have that user should type this whole server name, आप चाहते हैं कि आपका मेल सर्वर भी इसी नाम से आए, networkutopia.com से। so what you will do, you will create a mx record, you will write networkutopia.com, then you will put this name there, ठीक है, जो भी नेम होगा, I am just taking an example, many times this name is more complex also, then here mx and ttl will be there। so this mx record will tell that networkutopia.com के मेल सर्वर को आप इससे भी रेफर कर सकते हैं। so whenever you will refer the mail server, आप मेल सर्वर को इस सर्वर से कांटेक्ट करा सकते हैं, ओके। ऑटोमेटिकली दिस नेम विल बी ट्रांसलेटेड टू दिस मेल सर्वर। जब आपका मेल आईडी आएगा, तो क्योंकि मेल आईडी में दो चीजें होती हैं, यू नो दैट, जैसे gmail.com लिखते हो आप, तो जैसे abc@gmail.com, ओके। सो आप देख रहे हो ये आपका यूजर नेम होता है, एंड ये मेल सर्वर का वो यूआरएल है। लेकिन आप देख रहे हैं गूगल का जो मेल सर्वर है gmail.com है, बट नेसेसरी नहीं है कि जो मेल सर्वर है उसका नाम gmail.com हो, इसका नाम कुछ और भी हो सकता है, बट स्टिल यू आर एबल टू यूज gmail.com, है ना। या अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी का ही केस देखिए, जैसे मेरा जो ईमेल आईडी है वो है nemichandra@cub.ac.in। नाउ आप देख रहे हैं ये यूनिवर्सिटी का भी डोमेन नेम है, एंड आप उसी डोमेन नेम से मेल सर्वर को भी एक्सेस कर पा रहे हैं। सो मेनी टाइम्स व्हाट यू वांट कि आपकी जो वेबसाइट का नाम है, वेब सर्वर का नाम है, वही आपके मेल सर्वर का भी नाम हो जाए। तो उसके लिए आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, इस तरीके का एक mx रिकॉर्ड बनाना पड़ेगा। यहाँ आप लिखेंगे, लेट्स से यूनिवर्सिटी के केस में cub.ac.in, यहाँ पे जो भी मेल सर्वर है उसका नाम, ध्यान रखना जिस मशीन पर मेल सर्वर नाम रन कर रहा है उस मशीन का होस्ट नेम या कैनोनिकल नेम शुड बी देयर, एंड देन mx यू नीड टू राइट। तो mx का मतलब ये एड्रेस मेल सर्वर का है। तो जब भी आप ऐसे मेल टाइप करेंगे, तो जब मेल सर्वर को रिजॉल्व किया जाएगा, तो ये जो पार्ट है तो इसके करस्पॉन्डिंग वो एंट्री यहाँ से ये एंट्री एक्सेस होगी और यहाँ से आपको मशीन का नाम मिल जाएगा, और इस मशीन के करस्पॉन्डिंग फिर एक और रिकॉर्ड होगा कि ये मशीन का जो यूआरएल नेम है वो आईपी क्या है, तो वहां से उस मशीन का आईपी मिल जाएगा. So this is how the records are maintained at the DNS server. Okay. So this is our DNS protocol. Now you should understand that DNS protocol is a very complex protocol, and we have just covered some aspects of the DNS. Now one more thing, you should remember that DNS uses DNS is an application layer protocol, so obviously it required a transport protocol. So in order to send those DNS queries, DNS requires a transport protocol. ये जो queries हम भेज रहे थे, how these queries are sent. So DNS uses actually services of UDP, and it runs on port number 53. Okay, so transport layer के protocol के केस में DNS UDP की सर्विस इस्तेमाल करता है. And now question आ जाता है, why UDP, why not TCP? So actually DNS is a service that is required by many protocols. जब भी आप HTTP यूज कर रहे हैं, HTTPS यूज कर रहे हैं, या SMTP प्रोटोकॉल यूज कर रहे हैं, जब आप ये प्रोटोकॉल्स को यूज करेंगे, यू विल रिक्वायर टू कॉल DNS. ओके, सो दैट मीन्स एक तरीके से ये प्री रिक्विजिट के तौर पर कॉल होता है DNS. तो ऑब्वियसली दिस शुड बी फास्ट, अदरवाइज बाकी के भी काम डिले होंगे, क्योंकि DNS तो बार बार आपको कॉल करना है. सो इफ यू गो फॉर TCP, if you will use TCP, then TCP have connection opening overhead and connection closing overhead. So obviously response time will become, DNS will become slow if you uses TCP. So that's why people who developed DNS, they opt for UDP service, because in case of UDP, you only need to send a small packet and you can send it immediately without any delay. And UDP is also very simple. That's why UDP was preferred, not TCP. बाकी रिलायबिलिटी की कोई इशू नहीं है. रिलायबिलिटी अगर आपकी रिजॉल्व नहीं होता, यू कैन सेंड रिक्वेस्ट अगेन. ओके, सो पीपल हैव जस्ट मेड ए ट्रेड ऑफ. टीसीपी बहुत डिले कर TCP will make things delayed. It will give reliable delivery, but it will make the things delay. So that's why people have opted for UDP. Okay, that's why DNS runs on UDP protocol. Anything? Any question? Okay, now one point, एक और point रह गया है that I need to discuss is that load balancing. That is the last topic on this. So let me talk about load balancing. What is that load balancing? DNS can be also used to do load balancing. How? Suppose that there is a server. Let's say it is a server of very popular service, maybe let's say IRCTC. Okay, IRCTC is a service. Now generally what you do, you do not implement your server as a single server, you implement your server in form of a clusters of servers. So all these servers are behaving as a single server. एक IRCTC का server है, and people thinks that this is a single server. Okay, irctc.com. So now suppose that you send a request, that's the request reaches to this server. Okay, now another person sends a request, maybe this request may be sent to this server. Third person की request आती है, that may be redirected to this server, and so on. This is called load balancing. And now how it happens? It happens with the help of DNS actually. So in case of DNS, what happens actually, when you create a set of servers like that, now your DNS server will have multiple IP address actually, as per with against your record this actually IRCTC, and इसके corresponding multiple IPs आते हैं. All these, let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 servers थे, so 7 IPs होंगे. IP1, IP2, IP3 एंड सो ऑन. सो ध्यान रखना है कि इसमें जो है ना, ऐसे जो ना एक ही रिकॉर्ड नहीं होगा. ध्यान रखना है यूआरएल का नाम और जो टाइप ए रिकॉर्ड रहता है, यू विल हैव मल्टीपल टाइप ए रिकॉर्ड. ध्यान रखना है इस केस में. सो एट DNS सर्वर, सो व्हेन ए रिक्वेस्ट कम्स, व्हाट DNS सर्वर विल डू, पहली रिक्वेस्ट को जब रिजॉल्व करने के लिए आएगी तो वो उसे ये वाला आईपी रिटर्न कर देगा. तो इस यूजर की जब रिक्वेस्ट आई, it will send a DNS query क्योंकि you are accessing URL, this URL, so obviously one DNS query will be sent. So now what your server will do, DNS server जो होगा local हो या और कोई भी हो, it will give this first IP to first server. That means ये जो सारे IPs रिटर्न करता है बट रोटेट करके रिटर्न करता है. सो ये जो यूजर है इसे ये ऑल 7 IPs मिलेंगे इसकी मशीन को, एंड इस मशीन की नेचर है इट विल ऑलवेज यूज फर्स्ट IP. देन व्हेन अगेन नेक्स्ट DNS रिक्वेस्ट कम्स, लेट्स से यहाँ पे जो क्लाइंट था इस क्लाइंट से रिक्वेस्ट आई, सो दिस क्लाइंट सेंड्स द रिक्वेस्ट, अगेन दिस विल सेंड ए DNS रिक्वेस्ट. नाउ इस क्लाइंट को जो IP एड्रेस का सेट देगा DNS सर्वर, वो इसको रोटेट कर देगा. कैसे कर देगा? IP2 को आगे कर देगा एंड IP1 सबसे पीछे हो जाएगा, IP3 एंड सो ऑन, IP1 यहाँ पीछे आ जाएगा. ठीक है, सर्कुलरली रोटेट कर देगा. नेक्स्ट टाइम जब लेट्स से सपोज देयर इज अनदर क्लाइंट दैट आल्सो मेक्स DNS रिक्वेस्ट फॉर IRCTC, सो इसको भी यही लिस्ट IP की मिलेगी, बट क्या होगा, रोटेट करती जाएगी 1. सो अब IP3 आगे होगा, इसको जो IP एड्रेस की लिस्ट मिलेगी IP3 और IP4 एंड सो ऑन, आखिर में IP1 IP2 एंड सो ऑन. सो इस तरीके से क्या होगा कि आप क्या कर रहे हैं, अलग अलग सर्वर्स के, इस सर्वर का IP1 है, इस सर्वर का IP2 था, इसका IP3 है, IP4 एंड सो ऑन. So what DNS server is doing, DNS server is just giving all these IPs, but it is rotating those IPs list. 7 IP थे, उनको लोड एक सर्कुलरली रोटेट कर दे रहा है. So because of this rotation, and you remember that जो IP एड्रेस की लिस्ट मिलती है इसमें से जो मशीन है ऑटोमेटिकली फर्स्ट जो IP एड्रेस है उसको कॉन्टेक्ट करती है. So obviously the load will be distributed on all these servers. So in this way we can exploit this property of DNS for load balancing on different servers. Okay, so load balancing का फायदा क्या होगा कि आप अपने जो कस्टमर्स के जो है अलग अलग सर्वर्स पर सेंड करके आप you can efficiently manage your server. Any question?
सर लोड बैलेंसिंग समझ में नहीं आया.
Load balancing, actually let me repeat again. Suppose that this is a service, let's say मैंने IRCTC example लिया. Your IRCTC server is not a single server, it is having a cluster of servers. So let's say this is server 1, let's say S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6, S7, S8, and all these 8 servers are having different IPs. इसका IP है IP1, इसका IP है IP2, IP3 and so on, है ना? So 8 servers, 8 IPs are there. Now DNS server will have actually जो DNS में जो रिकॉर्ड होगा, authoritative server will have all these records. So now suppose that there is a client 1, उसे टिकट बुक करना है, इट कॉन्टेक्ट्स IRCTC. तो आपने URL में टाइप किया irctc.com. ओके, सो नाउ जब आप irctc.com टाइप करते हैं तो योर URL विल सेंड ए रिक्वेस्ट टू DNS सर्वर ऑफ IRCTC. obviously it will call a DNS service to get the IP address. okay, so now what your DNS server will do, आपके जो क्लाइंट C1 है इससे ये 8 IPs की लिस्ट देगा, IP1, IP2 and so on, IP8. okay, 8 IPs हैं. so now what client C1 will do, automatically आपकी जो मशीन है वो पहले IP को कांटेक्ट करती है. so that means this client will contact this server IP1 and यहाँ से वो IRCTC की सर्विस एक्सेस करके टिकट बुकिंग कर लेगा. okay, then now suppose second person sends a request, ये भी IRCTC से टिकट बुक करना चाहता है, इसने भी अपने URL में irctc.com टाइप किया. so obviously irctc.com टाइप करने का मतलब you have just initiated DNS request. so now DNS request again the request will reach to DNS server, it may be local or anything. then response में इसे भी 8 IPs मिलेंगे, but इस टाइम में DNS सर्वर क्या करेगा, it will rotate those IPs. so IP2 पहले हो जाएगा, IP3 and so on, आखिर में IP8 एंड IP1 रहेगा. ये लिस्ट जो है इसे रोटेट कर दिया. सो नाउ दिस क्लाइंट विल कॉन्टेक्ट ऑन टू दिस सर्वर IP2. जो भी लिस्ट में फर्स्ट IP होता है उससे कॉन्टेक्ट किया जाता है. ओके, बाय डिफॉल्ट ये रूल है. सो नाउ ये जो क्लाइंट है इसकी रिक्वेस्ट किसके पास जाएगी, इस सर्वर के पास जाएगी, एंड सो ऑन. दिस प्रोसेस विल गो ऑन. सो इस तरीके से क्या होगा कि आपके जो सर्वर्स हैं सारी रिक्वेस्ट एक ही सर्वर पर नहीं जा रही हैं, अब इसी सर्वर पर नहीं आएंगे, कुछ रिक्वेस्ट इस सर्वर पर चले जाएंगे, कुछ इस पर जाएंगे, कुछ इस पर जाएंगे, एंड सो ऑन. सो ईच सर्वर विल गेट सम रिक्वेस्ट. तो अगर रफली हम देखें तो जो भी रिक्वेस्ट आ रही है एक्स, टोटल एक्स रिक्वेस्ट पर सेकंड जो है ना, एक्स रिक्वेस्ट पर सेकंड जो है ना आईआरसीटीसी के पास आती हैं. तो एक्स अपॉन 8 रिक्वेस्ट, नंबर ऑफ रिक्वेस्ट पर सेकंड जो है सर्वर 1 के पास जाएंगे. एक्स अपॉन 8 रिक्वेस्ट पर सेकंड सर्वर 2 के पास चली जाएंगे, एंड सो ऑन. सो इस तरीके से क्या हो गया, जो टोटल जो कमिंग रिक्वेस्ट है दैट हैज बीन डिवाइडेड टू ऑल द सर्वर्स ऑफ IRCTC. ठीक है, गॉट इट. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड लोड बैलेंसिंग. तो आपने केवल एक सर्वर को लोड नहीं डाला है, यू हैव डिवाइडेड द लोड. काम डिवाइड हो गया. आई थिंक नाउ इट्स क्लियर टू यू.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's take attendance.
सर
हाँ,
सर जो असाइनमेंट मिला वो कितने दिन में सेंड करना है?
date is there. I think date is second March. Huh? I have put the late date. Please see that. Last date is there.
सर
Hmm.
सर उसमें ना अंशु 2 है तो मैं कंफ्यूज हूँ कि कौन सा मिला है मुझे, मतलब.
अंशु,
यस सर.
आपका जो एक मिनट, जो पहले वाला अंशु नाम होगा लिस्ट में ऊपर, वो अंशु रोल नंबर 12 है. तो आप देख लीजिए, 2 अंशु होंगे ना तो एक ऑर्डर में होगा. जो लिस्ट में ऊपर फर्स्ट टाइम जो आया होगा अंशु, सी रोल नंबर 12. सो अगर आपका रोल नंबर 12 है तो वो टॉपिक आपका होगा, अदरवाइज लास्ट में जो होगा टॉपिक वो आपका होगा अगर आपका 11 है तो.
ओके सर.
ओके. Let me take now the attendance. Kumari Suman. 1 minute.